Did you know that doing walk loop animations doesn't have to take the whole day? Did you know doing half the work is better than doing all the work? Let me show you how I do it with a simple piece of code that cuts down almost half the workload. But first, let's get into our After Effects and let's look at how other people might do it. So, if you're a freelancer and you ever work for a company with an in-house artist where you're basically not doing your own art, you're just animating, they're going to send you legs and arms separated into three parts: the upper leg, the lower leg, and the foot. And once you're done putting your anchor points where you think they should go, you parent the foot to the lower leg to the upper leg, and then you're ready to animate. But what this does is this creates like needless layers. You got 3 layers for each of the arms, then another 3 layers for each of the legs. That gets messy. So I know what you're thinking. What if you merge all the layers and just use 1 layer for the leg, and you use puppet pins? So you put these 3 pins and then you want to animate something, but everything starts bending in a weird way and your leg starts looking like a sausage. So that's obviously not the right way to do it either. Now, did you know, as long as your art is made in a vector format, you can just right click, create shapes from vector layers, and then you can animate your leg with paths. And you have a lot more control than animating them with puppet pins or separating the leg into 3 layers. So in this composition I already converted all the layers to shape layers, and we're going to start to animate. But first what we need to do is we need to duplicate the front arm and the front leg. We'll move it down, recolor it to yellow just so we know which is which, and I'm also gonna name them leg B and arm B, but that's irrelevant. So we get our script, and since we're going to be manipulating the rotation and position properties and path properties, we need to set this code in each of those places for both the arm and the leg. So the way to do this is we access the position, the rotation property, then we paste the code in position, change this replace to the front leg position, and then for rotation again change the replace to the front leg rotation, then do this for the paths as well. We can access the paths by typing in path in the search bar up here. So paste the code, change replace for first path to first path, second path to second path, and now do this for the arm as well. Right, now that our code is set up, we can start to do the actual animation. So let's set our position, rotation, and path property values for both the arm and the leg. Actually, let's keep the arm simple. We're just going to be using position and rotation. We're not going to be doing any path animation. So for the first frame, let's have the leg rotate and move as far forward as it's gonna be during our animation. This should look fine. Move 20 frames forward, then rotate it back and move it back as far as it's gonna be during our animation. And set these path points as well, and then move 20 frames forward, and we're just gonna copy this code here. Now let's take a look what we have. Okay, so the legs are moving, but nothing looks good yet. What we need to do is, when the leg is going forward, we need to bend the knee a little. And maybe give the foot a forward curve. Alright. And when the leg is impacting the ground, we want to make sure the foot is directly on the ground and that the knee is fully straight. Then as the leg is going backwards, we want the toes to curl here, and now it should look a whole lot better. Okay, it's already starting to look like something. Now let's quickly add the 20% ease in and ease out to both the rotation and position values, not to the path point values, only the position and rotation. And it's already starting to look a lot better, right? So now let's animate the arm as well. So when the front leg is forward, the arm is rotated to the back. 20 frames forward, then the arm rotates forward and moves forward, and then again 20 frames forward, copy the first frames, add 20% ease in and ease out to both the values. And we're almost there. Now we just have to animate the body rotating, and since our body is also a shape layer, that should be easy. We just access the path properties, set the path properties, move 20 frames forward. Now we need to make the body look like it was rotated. Move forward, copy the first frames. And then we need to also set the in-between path frames here. Right. You see? So it already looks more natural. Now what we need to do is also set position and rotation properties to the body. So set position, rotation, move forward, set position, rotation, move forward, set position, rotation. So now, when the legs are together, the body needs to be going up a bit. When they're apart, it needs to be going down a bit. So let's see. Yes, here the legs are together. We move the body up a bit and copy that same thing here. See, already looks like she's walking, right? And now just add a little bit of rotation to the body as well. We'll just add a slight rotation to the midpoint. And there you go. You got a pretty decent walk animation loop in just a couple of minutes. And the best part is you didn't have to animate everything. Half of the job was done by the code that we put in. And now when you need to tweak something, you don't need to apply to the back and front legs. You just need to focus on the front legs. Anyway, so that's all nice and dandy, but sometimes you have a lot of people to animate. I had scenes where there was 10 or more people that I needed to animate walking. And let's say the scene has to be done in one day. And there's a whole lot of other things happening in the scene. You can't just animate the walk loops and say, okay, that's the end of my day. No. So you need to save time where you can save time. You need to automate the process. So I made myself an After Effects script. It's called Vinci Essential Tools that helps me do just that. So when I want to mimic the arm or the leg movement to the back arm or back leg, all I have to do is select the front arm and the front leg and press this walk delay mimic button, and it auto creates the back arm and back leg for me. It works on the similar code that we just saw, but it's a lot easier. It saves you a lot more time. So if you're interested in getting a hands on my script, you can sign on to my Patreon for $10 or more a month, and I'll send you the latest version every month. Or alternatively, I'll have some options where you can buy it. That should be in the description under the video. I hope that helps. See you next time.